This is not a painting, this is the back of a real person. His name is John, a fat man weighing 200 kilos, living alone in an old house. It takes a lot of effort to get up. He has to sit down to wash the dishes. He can't walk from his room to the living room without panting. He eats alone, watches television alone, earns a meager income from beading, living a life of constant boredom. Every Saturday, John's sister and brother-in-law visit him. It was the only time he was happy. His sister was always disgusted by the smell of his clothes. The brother-in-law, on the other hand, was a good match for him. He shared photos of their trips together. John saw these pictures. He was so envious. He would look at each one for hours. At the end of the day, he took out his old camera, which he hadn't used for years. He accidentally took out a roll of film. He wanted to see what he had taken before, but for him, who hardly ever went out, it was a big deal to have the pictures taken. He thought about it for a long time, washed and dressed carefully. He walked out the door. He hadn't gone far. He was already drenched in sweat, standing in the same place, resting. A group of children playing football reminded him of his own youth, but when the ball rolls to his feet, but he can't lift his legs as hard as he tries, walking and resting all the way. When he got to the photo shop, John almost lost his breath. It took a while to get the words out. The young man's name was Jack. He was the owner's son. Told him it would be an hour and a half for the film to be developed. Told him to come back at 6 o'clock to pick it up. John was terrified. He thought, if I have to walk back and forth again, I'm going to die. Let's just wait here for an hour and a half. Jack couldn't figure out why he wasn't leaving, so he just let him read the magazine for a while and waited. When the pictures came out, John looked surprised and impressed. He asked Jack how much a new camera cost. Jack told him it cost 25.
此句合成错误，请重试。
And he said he only had 700. In the end, he bought an old second-hand model. It took half his life to walk home again. 1 minute, no less, 12 hours on a charge, a rite of passage. When the camera finally stretched out, he smiled like a child, then takes a selfie to take pictures of all sides of the house, and got a picture of his toes, a place he probably hadn't seen in a long time. Within 2 days, the second-hand charger broke down. He called the print shop. Jack thought he wanted to return it. He hangs up after a couple of minutes of stalling. John had no choice. He was about to break it open and see what happened, but then Jack found a conscience. He was willing to come and help him. Jack didn't seem to have much experience in repair work either. While sipping John's coffee, while mumbling to himself, after many attempts, the charger finally came on. This time it was Jack's turn to cheer. He jumped on John's stomach,